And we're staying with economy news, and I'm joined now by Dr. Vili Abraham, consumer behavior and international marketing expert from Israel's Sapir College. Good afternoon, Dr. Abraham.
Good afternoon.
We're here to discuss major shifts in the positions of major brands, and you bring us news of why this is happening. Slowly but surely, the position of major brands globally is changing.
Exactly. Yeah, and there are some major reasons why this is happening. As we've discussed earlier, millennials prefer new brands, and this is also evident in the fact that in the United States, in the last 10 years, there is an increase of 200% in the number of craft beers, and this shows that that people today, or consumers, don't only like to experiment with new beers, but they also like unusual products, and they don't just go for the usual national product.
And how big a threat would you say these smaller brands present to the bigger brands? We know some of them are extremely powerful, have lots of money, lots of presence globally. How big a threat are these small brands?
Well, we can take an example of a company in the United States that would sell razors through the internet. I mean, one of the things why it's easier to enter the market is because of the internet. You can open an online store. So a company that started selling through the internet razors for $1, okay, and sending it to people's home. I mean, it was really a cheap price. Today, they have taken up 5% of the razor market in the United States. So that's a very significant capture of the market. Another thing is that in the last 5 years, investors have invested more in private brands as opposed to national brands. Okay, just last year, $3.3 million was invested in private brands, an increase of 600% from 2011. So a very significant threat.
And it seems that there would be major changes in the market, market changes to account for the changing position of these global brands.
Exactly. So first of all, private brands, if we look here at our country in Israel, they comprise 7% of the market, which is not really that significant, but they are increasing in the number of customers that they sell to. But in Europe, for example, private brands capture 50% of the market. That's a very significant number. Now, one of the reasons it's happening is, again, if you look at developing economies, if you take China, for example, there's a theory that says, and it has been proved empirically, that as an economy develops and becomes more developed, the population prefers domestic brands as opposed to foreign brands because they see them as brands that are able to meet their needs better than foreign brands.
And I'm sure all these global brands with a lot of power and a lot of market presence have a strategy of dealing with these smaller brands.
That's correct. And one of the things that they do is, first of all, they try to save money by consolidating brands. A lot of major corporate brands have a lot of sub-brands or below them, so they try to consolidate. Another thing is to buy your rivals. And this is something that is very similar to what we see in pharmaceutical companies and internet companies, where they just buy a smaller competitor. That's another thing that they do. Another thing is just to invest in your rival, but not really to buy your rival outright. So these are the two major strategies that are used, just buying off your rivals.
Dr. Vili Abraham, always shedding light for us on the consumer issues that I personally don't know much about. Thank you very much for joining me for this today.